Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the Nvidia control panel. There are some settings in there that a lot of people experiment with. I've tried most of them, and about the only ones that seem to have a minor benefit is the let me see, there we go, Xplane EXE. Okay, the minor benefit is single display performance mode. That does help when that's selected. I get maybe a couple more frames out of that. The one that everybody keeps pointing to as something that would provide a big benefit is thread optimization. Now, I've tried this with auto, I've tried it on, I've tried it off, off and then on, and in all cases auto seems to be the best. Off is definitely not good. I'll lose about 2 or 3 frames, so I leave it at auto, which is the default setting. Like I said, the only setting that seemed to make much of a difference for me with the single display performance mode. The default is multi-display performance mode. I don't have multiple displays. I have a single display, so that's what I'm using. And that's that. I like to use precision mode when I'm working with track IR. Precision mode you can enable using F7, and this is a little indicator here that precision mode is active, and centering is just F12, so it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and shrink that. Let's fire up Xplane. Now I've loaded Mr. X's KBOS Logan Boston, so I'm gonna give that a try in Coronado's S500 Shrike. I'm using that aircraft because I also have that aircraft in P3D, so it's a good compare aircraft. So let's set up a new flight. Let's try and do let's do more of a daytime flight this time. How about 10 o'clock? Weather I'll leave. I'm not sure if I'm going to do environment X or not. In fact, actually, let me set this to clear. Okay, where is my Coronado? My Coronado is there it is, 500S Shriek, or Shrike, however you pronounce that. Let's go ahead and change to KBOS. Customize. Don't really want to start at a gate. Probably makes more sense to maybe not cargo. That's another gate. Gate. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and start from a cargo ramp over here. And let's hit the start to fly. Now the Coronado S500 is I'm not 100% sure it's compatible with Xplane 11. I've had a few strange issues, certainly when entering the sim. They're fairly easy to resolve though, so if you see any strangeness when we get into KBOS here, I'll just have to get it fixed. Like I said, Xplane 11 is beta. I'm running the beta 2 here. And let's just see how it goes. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's zoom out a little bit. We have KBoss. Let me just go ahead and check my graphics settings up here. Alright, so that looks good. It's done. Oh, I forgot to load up Fraps. I knew there was something I was missing. Let me go ahead and go into Window. Let's load up Fraps. And let's set Fraps up. Okay. Alright, so this should show me frame rate counter, and yes it does, down in the lower left corner here. Let's return to full screen. Is it done? There we are, full screen. I don't know what the jittering is on the ground there. As you can see, it looks like the texture below, which is the actually concrete run taxi area texture is moving, and the lines are moving with it. I don't know if this is just a problem with this particular aircraft or just a problem in general. Shadows, yeah, they look fairly terrible. If I remove the shadows, if I turn draw shadows off and then set HDR to SSAO, which is ambient occlusion, there's apparently the visually better way to operate Xplane 11. Now, I don't know how accurate that is. Every time I've used that mode of HDR, it's been a fairly significant frame rate hit, but this doesn't look too bad. So we'll leave it at that. So if I set the HDR to medium, I can get anti-aliasing 1x, 2x, 4x. I must admit I have not tried this mode yet. I'm kind of curious to see how it works. Let's hit the old OK button. Okay, so that is 4x AA, and yeah, it does not look quite so good. Still a lot of jaggies. Frame rate is perhaps about the same. I can't really notice much of a difference. Perhaps if we go into the VC. Yeah, the frame rate's a little bit higher. It seems to be locking at 30, And I remember I got VSync on. My monitor operates at 30 Hertz, so my frame rates should, in optimal conditions, stay locked at around 30. But this AA definitely does not look good to me. In fact, it looks kind of, well, not so good all around. Definitely want to step that HDR back up, in my humble opinion. If you can notice the sort of strange lighting on the instruments that wasn't there before. Don't know if that's intentional or not. So let's go ahead and, well, let's just experiment with a higher AA mode. Maybe we can at least solve the AA problem. Let's try 16x, what the heck. Okay, so this is supposed to be 16x AA. And I'm going to guess this is not working because it looks exactly the same. This may be one of those settings where you have to exit the sim and come back in. So let's not really do that right now. Don't want to mess around with that. Let's set this back up to HDR, 2x SSA, FX SSA. We'll leave the draw shadows of scenery off for now. Okay, so it's looking better. Yeah, frame rate's fairly solid. Let's go ahead and look outside here. It looks pretty good. Rotate around. Yeah, that's not too bad. Certainly acceptable. So I'll stick with that. That's where I seem to get the best frame rates anyway. Let's go ahead and start the aircraft. Hopefully it'll start. Alrighty. Almost looks like there's a weird sort of reflection update, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn reflections off. Maybe that'll get rid of the problem. Oh, you can't turn it off. Oh, we got some clouds now. Oh, interesting. Seems a little improved with the reflections off. Throttle this back before we blow the engines up. 2000 RPM. Alrighty, so now we're flying. Oh, still got our gear down. Let's bring that up. So pretty neat scenery, and it's free. So big thank you to whoever Mr. X is. There's some texture flickering over there, but since it's free, can't really complain. Let's take a look at Boston. Almost as if it doesn't like VSync. I'm gonna do something crazy here. I'm gonna set this to 60 Hertz and see what happens. Huh. Definitely a different. Interesting. Well, that's certainly something new to so if I set it to 60 Hertz, I still have VSync on, but it's trying to operate at 60 Hertz now, and it does indeed feel smoother. So that's quite interesting. Let's go ahead and get back into the VC here. That should, yeah. Go ahead and see if we can turn this up and see what happens. Huh. Alright, don't really understand that. Our frame rate did go down. It does look better with the HDR and the ambient occlusion enabled. Shadows are off. reflections are minimal. About 23 frames right now. It still is pretty smooth, even though I'm only operating at 22 frames per second. It has me a bit puzzled, but so be it. Let's go ahead and turn the AA down a notch to FXAA. Alright, that has brought it up a little bit from 23 to about 27. The AA is not quite as good as you can see from those boats there. Their mass lines are flickering a bit. And if you take a look at the distance, you can see the bridge over there. Looks a little odd with just FXAA. Now if we turn the AA back up again, oops, to 2x, you see the bridge looks a little bit better. And if we go to 4x, it'll look even better. But yeah, frame rate suffers quite considerably. I'm down to 1920 right now. I'm down to like 16 frames a second here, so let's get out of this SSA mode. Well, we can try and crank it up to 8 and see this frame rate really drop. Alright, now we're at 8 and we're at 9 frames a second. Visually it looks great, but can't really fly at 9 frames a second. So let's go ahead and bring this down. Actually, let's turn the HDR SSAA off. Yeah, I can definitely see a difference there. My frame rate also doubled. So there's certainly an impact there. Alright, let's turn this back down to 2x. Alright, this is what I normally would be flying at. And the frame rate's back up to 30. And that's primarily my goal, is 30 frames a second. I don't need anything really higher than that. Those boats are doing some strange reflection. I assume that's just a bug. Or perhaps it's my reflection quality needs to be turned up. Let me turn that up a notch or two and see what happens. Alright, so frame rate went down a little bit. I lost a couple of frames a second. The reflection quality looks better on the boats, but in the distant islands it's definitely looking kind of strange. So let's see if we increase it another notch, if that oh, that's interesting. Let's go to high. Ah, there we go. So reflection quality high reduces some of the strangeness around, especially around the islands. You can notice here they're a little bit better than they were. Frame rate seems to be okay. Let's put that at max and see what happens. Oh, interesting. So I set it to max and my frame rate goes up. That was a bit unexpected. Maybe it's just because I'm flying to a less populated area. Alright, so now we're flying around the airport, down to about 21 frames a second with the reflection set to high. Let's see if it actually makes a difference if I go back down to minimum. Yeah, it makes a little bit of a difference. Bump me back up to about 27, 28 frames. External. So there you have it, Boston. My lesson for today is set the graphic setting to 60 Hz, even though I'm not necessarily operating at 60.